Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Harris Bard for Pond Life Aquatics and Tropical Fish London. And in today's video, we have an absolutely blinding fish order that's come in. Let's get into it. So hello to everyone who is new here to the channel. For those of you who don't know, we do things a little bit differently here at Pond Life Aquatics, where we have structured our fish room continent by continent. And the reason we do this is because we find it extraordinarily useful to help educate people who come into the store for where their fish are from in the world. We also occasionally have school groups in, and we find this is extraordinarily beneficial for them to be able to know what species they're looking at and where in the world they are from. The first section you see when you first walk into our fish room on the left-hand side is our South American section. And in this first part, you will find everything that you would usually expect to find from a live bearer section. We have things like swordtails and platies and guppies as well. But although we didn't get any live bearers in this week, we did get something that I've mentioned previously when doing shop tours, and they sold quite well. So we got some more in, and these are some absolutely beautiful Whiptail catfish. Red Whiptail cats are typically found in the Amazon basin, and as such they do prefer well oxygenated waters, typically a sandy base for their substrate with lots of planting and bogwood. These are generally a peaceful species of fish and will do extraordinarily well in a lot of people's community tanks. I think Whiptail cats are particularly special because they offer something a little bit different from your typical Ancestris or Gibbicep, although there's nothing wrong with either of those species. I think Whiptails or Farlowellas actually offer a really substantial difference in the way they look and behave, which is so exciting for a lot of fish keepers. These guys came in slightly smaller than the last batch we got in, but I think their coloration is actually that little bit more special, and they've settled in really, really nicely. So if you are in the market for a bottom dwelling catfish species that primarily lives on things like algae, try out some Whiptail cats. That's not everything we got in new in South America. We've actually got the majority of our new things in this continent. And in this tank here, we have one of my favorite diverfish. I've wanted to get these in for a while now, but something prompted me to get them in. One of my favorite artists, Moss UK, who also does some excellent scaping glue that we will hopefully be stocking in the next few weeks, did a particularly beautiful piece of artwork of a black neon tetra. I will leave a link to his website below. We are looking at doing collaborations with him in the future, but aside from that, you should definitely just check him out if you are into artwork based on fish. He is amazing. I absolutely adore his artwork, and you can see why he decided to focus on black neon tetras. Black neons, unlike their other neon counterparts, are somewhat more understated. They have these gorgeous black lines across them and then a silver highlight along their body. They are, like a lot of tetra, a true shoaling species, and you can see them just bundling together and showing off these absolutely beautiful colors. I would recommend keeping them in larger groups because they do just look spectacular when they are bundled up as they are now. I honestly can't take my eyes off them. They are a truly, truly beautiful species of fish, and they are super compatible in London's hard water, particularly when they're tank bred, which these guys are. We've already had a few black neons that were donated by a customer in his aquascape, which I'll put some footage of in now. So I'm so happy that we have these guys in stock ready for people to take home. They are in the tank alongside the bloodfin tetra and stir-by Corydoras. We've also got some ram's horns snails in here doing our cleanup crew work. We also have a fair few Bentosi tetra in this tank left over, and this tank in particular is looking very, very happy. Moving on to our second and third bottom dwelling species, or not typically bottom dwelling, but algae eating species that came in this week. And we have a mixture of short fin and long fin red ancestris, and these guys again have come in beautifully. The long fins are on the smaller side. They absolutely gorgeous. They have these long elongated tails and they behave in ways that you would typically expect of an ancestris. They are ferocious algae eaters, but what you should bear in mind is that they do get territorial after they come out of their younger state and move towards adolescence. I know we have a fair few breeders who like to breed more complex ancestris, and I think these guys are going to be complemented really, really well to them. So the long fins are living happily alongside our diamond tetras, but just up here alongside our Rathbone tetras, you can see our short fin red ancestris, and I think these guys are equally as special. Their coloration has come in a lot more symmetrical than the long fins, in my opinion. That is typically more desirable, particularly for breeders, and they are a little bit more accessible on the price point. These guys are absolutely stunning. They can go in a lot of community tanks. Again, the same with all ancestral species. They do become a bit territorial when they get bigger, and you should make sure that you have a decent sized tank to home them in as they grow on. Finally, in terms of new bottom dwellers, and these guys are spread throughout tanks because again, they are a territorial fish. We have our royal Panax, and these guys have come in so nicely. Typically they come in about that big, but these guys come in chunky and beautiful. Now, Panax do get really big as they get older, but they do keep their coloration, which makes them extraordinarily desirable. Typically, Panax can range anywhere from 40 to 60 pounds, which makes these guys coming in at 30 pounds each an absolute steal. They have strong green coloration with those black stripes, which is so desirable in Royal Panax. So if you are in the market for some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous suckerfish, then these guys are definitely going to be the species for you. And I wish I had a tank big enough for them at home, because one of these would definitely be coming home with me. They are absolutely stunning. Aside from all of that new goodness, we still have our Rathbone tetras, neon tetras, Rummynose tetras, cardinal tetras, although we are running a little bit low, and we have our Simulus Corydoras, diamond tetras, and we still have some Apistogrammas. We do have a breeding pair of Apistogramma vegetas alongside their Paraguay counterparts, and it's definitely worthwhile coming down and checking those guys out as well. We're looking extraordinarily good on this side of the room, and I'm super happy with everything that came in. But that is not all for South America. Now, moving along to the larger side of South America, we got in alongside our Incolicana, Corydoras, and other angels, some absolutely blinding koi angelfish. These guys are stunning. They're already feeding. We started feeding them on garlic brine shrimp earlier today, and they are just beautiful. They have these deep red speckles across them alongside these pure white bodies with their red and yellow heads. And honestly, I think they might be the nicest angels we've had in a very long time. Maybe since the red devils that sold out a while ago. I'm super excited to have these guys in. Everything in this tank is looking spectacularly good. Koi angels, alongside all other angelfish, do need a decent size aquarium. I would personally recommend no less than 200. I've seen some people say 120 liters online, but if you want to have a decent shoal of them, or if you want to have a crack at breeding them, 200 liters is really the sweet spot. Maybe even on the smaller side of what you should be looking at. I think these guys are absolutely beautiful. And again, it's one of those species that I wish I had a big enough tank to take them home. They are absolutely stunning. I'm super glad they've come in large and they've settled in as well as they have. Next to them, we have our tank bred polar parrots alongside our blue parrotfish. We are slowly whittling down the numbers on these guys. They are bred here at Pond Life Aquatics and they are absolutely gorgeous. We do have some ancestress in there with them, forming as a cleanup crew. And then obviously in the tank below them, we still have our tank bred hard water discus, which have only gone from strength to strength in the last week. We are going to be doing a remodel on this tank where I'm going to be testing out some mother planting from Aquafleur and some mother planting from Aquadip in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully I'll be doing a video for you guys on how to attach plant to hardscape, how to create ideal biomes for Amazon species, and that'll all be taking place specifically for these guys because we really feel like they deserve an aquarium that shows off how stunning they are. I've got some really beautiful footage of these guys feeding earlier, and they have genuinely gone from strength to strength as they've settled in more and more in the past couple of weeks. They've only gotten better. If you are in London looking for some tank bred hard water discus, they are £35 each or 5 for 150, which in my opinion, particularly for discus, that is an absolutely steal of a price. Now moving down into Asia, we do have some more female fighting fish, which we have added in from our quarantine space, and this tank is just such a pleasure to watch. I absolutely adore female betta splendids. They are just so vibrant and full of color, and I can remember when I was a kid, female fighters were typically a bit drab. They weren't nearly as beautiful as they are now, but the breeding that has been done with these lines of female fighters almost makes them look like male Plakats. And what could be better than a tank full of male fighting fish? Definitely worth coming down and checking these guys out. We've definitely got some that are worth adding to a sorority if you already have some, and just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Again, in Asia, we got a restock of our neon green Rasbora. They are alongside our Pakistani loach, which have been extraordinarily popular in the past few weeks. They are a very, very good option when it comes to snail control. So if you have a slightly larger aquarium, it's definitely worth checking those guys out. The Asian Rummynose, which if you remember, we got in ages ago, have finally reached adolescence and adulthood and have colored up so beautifully. You can really see the sexual dimorphism that presents with these guys once they hit maturity, and I'm sure that now they have those colorations of Asian Rummynose, particularly in full breeding colors. These guys will not stick around for long. In the tank below them, we have some gorgeous Honey Gourami alongside our glass catfish, and we have moved some absolutely beautiful little chili Rasbora out of quarantine into this space next to our sparkling Gourami, which have been selling steadily through in the past few weeks. In terms of newness in this section, we have gotten, after a really long time, and I don't know why it took us so long to get these guys back in stock, because they're not the rarest of fish, but it does not mean that they are not Absolutely beautiful. We have gotten some Golden Leopard Danios in stock, and honestly, I can't take my eyes off these guys either. They are such a spectacle when it comes to adding them into a tank in bulk, and they just look beautiful. They do get a reputation as a dither fish because they do dither around and offer that little bit of stability for fish that may seem a little bit more timid, but these leopards are absolutely gorgeous. As with all Danios, they are very adaptable to a lot of different environments, but they will particularly love a high oxygen environment. They can be kept in a wide variety of different temperatures, hence they are a temperate fish, which makes them ideal for unheated aquariums if they are in a warmer spot in your home. In the tank below them, we got a fresh restock in White Cloud Mountain Minnows and Golden White Clouds. Although we only got a few Goldens in, so if you are looking for them in particular, do make sure that you call us up before coming in for them. Below them, we have our Madaka rice fish, which are doing extraordinarily well. And then in this tank up here, we have some absolutely blinding Gourami, which I know a customer is taking 4 or 5 of these home next week. So do be quick if you want some Gouramis, particularly in those vibrant reds and blues. At the end of our aquarium, we do have our dedicated barb tanks, but we did not get anything new in. I just think it's worth mentioning how stunning the barbs are looking at the moment. They are really just so vibrant and full of color and full of character. I keep saying it, I love barbs. They are just such an amazing species of fish. We do have these really titchy little cherry barbs in at the moment, which will make an excellent addition to any temperate tank. They are really quite something. I love this tank at the moment. I love both of these tanks. I just get lost looking at them repeatedly. We are going to be getting fresh lighting for these tanks in the next couple of weeks, so hopefully you'll be able to show off all of our stock a little bit more. But for now, that's it for the end of Asia, but not for Asia itself. Flipping across onto this side of the room, not only do we have this beautiful aquascape that a customer donated to us and is still looking absolutely gorgeous, we have some Neocaridina shrimp in snowball and orange varieties. We also have cherry shrimp in our other quarantine space, although they're not in quarantine. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of those for today, but we do have a wide variety of different colors Neocaridina in stock. And then throughout Asia, we have some beautiful Siamese fighting fish in stock. These male Betta Splendids are genuinely just gorgeous. They've come in over the past few weeks, whether they are Plakat or Half Moon or just regular Delta. Every single one of the Bettas we have in stock at the moment are gorgeous. We keep all of our Bettas in a minimum of 15 litres. Personally, I would recommend keeping your fighting fish in 20 litres plus, but we feel like we are able to give these guys a good enough home where we're not cramming them into cups like a lot of places in America do. And we're able to give them a lifestyle that allows them to show off their colors to our customers in the most beneficial way. We are aware that we could probably stock a lot more fighters and possibly make a lot more sales if we were to get a fighter barracks, but we've decided that the trade-off of giving these guys a good space to live in before they are sold on is so much more worthwhile than just cramming them into tiny little spaces. So do come down and check out our vast range of Siamese fighting fish. Next up is our Australia range, and yet again, nothing fresh in with these guys, although there are a few things I think that are worth highlighting. Particularly, our red rainbow fish have now hit maturity and have all started to color up and show that sexual dimorphism that red rainbows show, where the males go bright, boisterous reds and the females get that fat lower belly ready for egg laying. So if you are in the market to breed some rainbow fish, these guys are absolutely stunning. And speaking of breeding fish, one of my favorite species ever have paired off in this lower left corner. Peacock gudgeon are absolutely gorgeous little species of fish, and these two have paired off. So if you are looking to breed peacock gudgeon in a nano aquarius setup, come down this weekend to Pond Life Aquatics. And then finally, in our Africa range, we again haven't got anything fresh, but there are a fair few things worth highlighting. Our Lamprologus ocellatus daffodils have all started behaving really, really nicely. We've had no bullying in this tank, which is a real treat if you know what Lamprologus are like. And in the tank next to them, our ocellatus blues have started shell dwelling, which can begin to indicate that they may start breeding very soon. Our Lamprologus lupi have all found their spaces alongside the daffodils, and our Malawi cichlids, as always, murderous in their vibrancy and beauty. We've been feeding these guys on a mixture of frozen food and live food recently, and they've really, really colored up. They're definitely worth coming into store and just checking out. And if you have got a African cichlid tank, do come in and check them out. They are beautiful, particularly the yellow labs. I am a massive fan of. And then our Congo tetras have really started to color up in the past few weeks. And then obviously we've got our armored shrimp and our dwarf African bullfrogs, which are always going to be a fan favorite. And then that's it really for us here at Pond Life Aquatics. We did get a really tight plant order in this week, alongside possibly some of the nicest live food I've ever seen. We have been selling live food faster than we ever have here at Pond Life Aquatics. So if you are local and you want live food, do message us before you come in, because we completely sold out last weekend. If you are a regular and want your regular portion set aside, do just send us through a message. We're more than happy to do that. We have some bloodworm in, daphnia, everything that you could expect to feed through your tanks. And the plant order that came in alongside them is really nice and tight, and got some gorgeous pieces of plant and wood alongside some really nice little cups. And then next week we are getting an aquaflower order, again only a small one just to top up, and then hopefully we'll be doing a much larger aquaflower order in the next few weeks. Again, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting us here at Pond Life Aquatics. We have been busier than we've ever been. We've had new faces from the YouTube, from the Instagram, particularly those of you who've been leaving reviews for us on Google. It really does help us out. It drives people to the store, and last week's video where you guys gave us suggestions on how we should be proceeding with new species in the future, we did read through all of them, and I'll be replying before this video comes out tonight. Hopefully, now that my private life has started to settle down a little bit, I'll get back to putting out maybe 2 videos every other week, and then 1 video a week with the stock updates. But for now, that's everything from me here at Pond Life Aquatics, and I hope you'll join us again next time for this Pond of Life.